Hey, good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here today. I actually was thinking about, I was so busy making a lot of plans for next week, I was thinking about not doing a video. But since I am not going to be doing any video next week, I figured I'd just pop in and make sure I check in with you today. And it's going to probably be a little brief. I'm still looking, we're still going to explore some things about happiness. And we're also going to be looking at how that interfaces with your Christmas shopping. And I'm going to try to keep it light. There are some things that are not all that light, but we'll talk about that in a minute. First, we're going to talk about National Day Calendar. And today, these are like really, every one of them is close to my heart. How does that happen? And it may seem peculiar to be close to my heart in the first case, which is National Bartenders Day. Now, I do understand there are people that have issues with alcohol and addiction and stuff like that, and I've lost loved ones to it. At the same time, the people that do not have, problems with alcohol do like to have a drink from time to time. And if it's done wisely, it's actually, hell, I got hair sticking out here. It's actually can be healthy. Um, I have a glass of wine every day. It's red wine, which has the um, things in it that are good for your heart and blood and like that. But I do not misunderstand because it's Bartender's Day. I am not saying, "Oh yeah, go on out, get drunk, it's fun." Not in the least. When I was a bartender, it was a part of my plan. And it happened one time when I knew someone who was a bartender, and I went to where he worked and I watched him work, and he worked with such professionalism and integrity. I knew I wanted to do that. See, it's a really challenging field because people are having a good time. You want them to have a good time. You don't want to let them go overboard because, first of all, you are responsible. You could be arrested if something happens to someone you gave more alcohol to than you should. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm all of 4'10", and I would go up to someone that was, I could probably just be a little bit above their belly button. And if they brought alcohol into the club, if they started to drink too much, I would snag that out of their hand before they knew what happened. I wanted to have the professionalism. It is an honored profession if you do it right. So we're honoring our bartenders today. And don't forget to tip them. We worked for tips, you know. It's also very close to my heart. Roof over your head day. We are, those of us that have a roof over our head, we are very fortunate. And if you ever talk to some homeless people, you're probably going to find it's not because they're lazy. It's not because, they choose it because they don't know how to handle money, because they don't want to have a job, because they don't want to pay rent. Any of that stuff, when you get to know their really what's going on in their life, um, it's not so easy to judge them. And there are people that are mentally ill. There are people that lost everything. So let's not judge the homeless. Let's try to find a way to get a roof over their head. Now, there's unfortunately there's not a lot of work being done for the people that don't have a roof over their head. But things we can do are support homeless shelters. And oh, this hair is making me crazy. Where are you? I'm going to tuck you behind my ear. There. Oh, much better. I was so distracted I couldn't even think. Okay. Um, so we can definitely support homeless shelters. They need all kinds of donations. And I think we all, here's the thing, the solutions are out there. Did you ever wonder why there are so many empty buildings, empty malls, empty hotels, empty motels, whatever? It doesn't make sense that there's empty buildings and homeless people. And this is something that we can do something about. I said, I brought this up one time like 30 years ago talking to someone about it, and they said, oh, well, they can't do anything about it because of zoning and because the people fight it because they don't want that in their neighborhood. I think we need to start looking at the need to take care of each other. So I really encourage you to think of what you can do um, for the people that are homeless. There's something else I wanted to add about giving in that way. I think the 30th was Giving Tuesday, but it's always a good time to give. Um, there's a line, it was a poem, but this is so beautiful, and it says, it's not what we give, but what we share. For the gift without the giver is bare. You can give a homeless people lunch. You can give them money. We used to, in the churches I served, we would have giving projects, and we had one where I would give everybody in the church a bag lunch, a non-perishable. It had like a little can of tuna salad and some crackers and a juice box, and we always put something in there that let people know that we really cared, even if it was a sweet treat like a Hershey's Kiss. Or one time we put in little red hearts, and on one side it said, "You are loved," and on the other side it said, "You are loved." So that these people are good people, and they're homeless for whatever reason. And rather than judge them, it's much easier to remember the words of Jesus when he said, "What is that to you? Follow me." He didn't mean not to take care of them, he meant not to judge them. And the third thing, totally, it's Faux Fur Day. And I celebrate Faux Fur Day because of all the animals that were not raised, what am I thinking of? Grown, farmed, whatever, for their fur. I mean, that was horrible. I mean, we don't need fur coats anymore. We got plenty of other kinds of coats. And if you gotta have fur, fine. There's faux fur. And some of that faux fur is very, very good stuff. It's warm and toasty and easy to clean. So keep your mind on it. So that was our National Day calendar for today. And today I want to talk about your shopping list and what is on your shopping list. Now I'm going to go to a little dark place for a moment. As what shouldn't be on your Christmas shopping list? The young man that killed the kids in the school the other day, four kids died, and that gun that he used was his Christmas present. Now, that's bad enough. But the thing is, he had mental issues. He had a lot of problems. Why would you buy your 14, 15-year-old child a gun for Christmas? To me, this, we do remember this is Jesus' birthday, right? It's not our birthday. That one of the videos I saw the other day I was telling you about with a kid who was so angry because he didn't like his Christmas gift. And he'd gotten like $120 in cash and other stuff. But he had such a fit, and he turned around and he said, "I'm never going to spend another Christmas in this house. And Christmas is for giving and not getting." And the thing is, he was the one that wasn't happy with what he was given. How about a little gratitude for what you're given? But I really think that especially a Christmas gift, should reflect the good parts of Christmas. First of all, it's not your birthday. We are celebrating the birth of something far greater than ourselves. Not that we are not beautiful, beloved children of God and all that, but we're celebrating the light, the good, enlightenment. We call Jesus the master teacher, the way shower, and we're celebrating that and the teaching and I don't know how to tell you this, but when you give gifts of violence, you are only encouraging violence. Violence breeds violence. So as you look at that shopping list and you figure out what's on it, ask yourself, would I give that gift to Jesus? Would I give that gift to Buddha? Would I give that gift to our local minister or priest? Think about that. Think about the thoughts we hold in mind manifest in the outer world. So what do you want to manifest in the coming year? Now I was saving, I wanted to, don't tell me I misplaced it. I will be very unhappy. Hang on. I found it. This is about what children want for Christmas. It says, well, children want one main thing. It's a 4-letter word, and it's what they want from you. Your children want your time. Here we go around spending all this money that actually represents many hours of our time that we spent earning that money. And we spend it on toys, too many toys. We had a chat about that yesterday, so I'm not going to go back there. But there are ways, people are like, they say, well, they want my time. What are we going to do? And what people don't realize is you don't have to do something big and fabulous. If you make time regularly to spend with family, my kids are grown up and they've got their own lives. But every chance I get, I'll pick up the phone when I'm free to travel again. I'll go see them. I love them. I hug them. I spend time with them. Time is the stuff life is made of. And if you love your family, spend time with them. Don't worry so much about big fancy gifts. Yeah, get them something that they might like. Charles Fillmore, who is a co-founder of Unity, had his own rules for Christmas, and it was no gifts, no exceptions. Now, I know if you tell your people that, if you tell your friends, your family, they're going to say, oh, that's it, they're around the bend. I knew this would happen someday. But the thing is, what would Christmas be if it weren't for gifts? I think we'd still enjoy it. We'd get together, we'd eat, you know, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But Christmas would still be Christmas, and maybe even a better Christmas. On the other hand, if on your shopping list you have gifts that honor the divinity in each other, things that honor what that person loves or would like to be or express or do, that's probably the best gift ever. And it doesn't have to cost a lot. For my birthday this year, my sister gave me a card, and it was a coupon for lunch and a movie, and that was a wonderful birthday gift, which I haven't used yet because we couldn't during camping season, and now we're just winding down. So things don't really have to be expensive. One of my all-time favorite Christmas gifts when I was about 9 or 10 was a case of 7 Up. That's what I wanted. I wanted my own personal case of 7 Up. You know, the wooden case with the bottles in it, and it was all mine. I can still remember the way they sounded in that wooden case. I can still remember the popping off the. We did not have screw caps in those days, so the popping off of the lid and listening to that, the carbonation, and pouring it over the ice and watching the bubbles, and oh yeah, oh yeah. that was and I did share, but I was not made to share. I shared by choice. You can buy a kid a game. You can buy an adventure. Not so inexpensive. But here's the thing: remember I'm talking about clutter and minimalizing and stuff like that. You can, so if a kid's got a phone, or anybody you love, this is not just about kids, because inside each one of us is a little kid. It's our inner child. And that inner child always wants a good surprise for the holidays. So we'll think about that. But it can also be something that beholds and honors the divinity in them. Um, we did what do you call that? Oh, I loved it. We did an escape room uh, when I was out visiting I've actually done escape rooms with a few of my kids, and it is so much fun. And you're not bringing anything home. You may take a picture, but you're not bringing home, you don't have anything to pick up, put away, dust, trip over, or anything else. You know, remember, we never give anybody jacks for Christmas. I don't know if they still play jacks, but nothing like stepping on a jack in the middle of the night with that little pointy thing. Yeah, no, done there, done that. I did it when I was a kid, and I did it when I was a grown up, so no jacks for Christmas. So there are things, it's like you can teach the kids, because what happens is when you get older, the stuff that we like to do kind of goes away and it's replaced with new stuff. We can teach kids about the stuff that we had, that we liked, games and toys and stuff like that. We can cook and bake with the kids. That was one tradition I had with my kids. When they were little, we would bake cookies together every Christmas. Each one would have a kind of cookie they wanted to make. They'd pick it out. They'd make the cookies, and I remember that dearly. I remember when my oldest son got to the point where he didn't want to play that game anymore. But you know what? Today, we still would do that. We do cook together for sure. I cook with all my kids. It's one of the things I do when I go see them, and people say, "What are you cooking for?" Because you're on vacation. A mother cooking for her kids? What could be better than that? That's the best vacation. Okay, so we can do things like go out for walks, nature walks, hikes, letterboxing. Oh, yeah. All these things are free. We can make up silly videos. If you're a TikTok thing, show the kids that you may have some ancient stuff they never heard of. But you know how to do the videos too. Um, Go out and look at the stars. Here's one I would never do or allow them to do: chase each other around with spray string. Oh, big mess. Oh, at the campground, we've had a couple of instances where they've had kids' parties or something, and that is bad. Do it in your own house if you're going to do that, or in your own yard. Don't go to a public place and do it. So one time, Tristan, my great grandson, had a bunch of blocks, and we had a great time. They looked like bricks, and we made a chimney for Santa to come down. We took a delivery box and we turned it into an elf house. These are the things that will be the treasures in the future. So when you're thinking about that shopping list, remember, how do you behold the Christ? How, do you give something to the inner child? That'd be a good idea. And remember, think about what they're doing, stretching out into the future. What kind of, how are they going to move forward in this? In other words, instead of getting a violent game, you might get a science project, because they sell little science project. Oh, that just reminded me, another one of my favorite gifts was my chemistry set. Oh, I loved my chemistry set. I didn't use it a whole lot, but I loved it when I used it. It had these little test tubes and beakers and things, and I could, I was very happy that I could make fart smells. Strange child. Yeah, I was probably the strange child. So I want you to think about that with that shopping list. Think about, are you just giving somebody a dust collector? Don't give somebody something just to give it to them. Think about giving things that are consumable, whether it's movie tickets or gift cards or, I just gave all my kids for Thanksgiving, I gave them special little popcorn sets. And they all loved them. Nobody's having to clean it up now. It came, it got eaten, and it's gone. So as you're doing that shopping, and don't spend too much time and money shopping. Remember, it's not their birthday. We do like to make smiles on their faces, but that does not require a lot of money. Okay? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little visit today, and I will see you a week from Monday. I mean, I may or may not try to sneak in a video while I'm on vacation, but I'm going to be busy playing with Tristan. And also, please, please, do keep my beloved Sammy, oh God, Mimi. Sammy's my granddaughter who passed away. We're definitely going to keep her in our thoughts and prayers. But her mom, Mimi, I told you yesterday she was getting a COVID test. She did test positive. And she is a very sick woman. And I am so grateful that she had the vaccines. She was double vaccinated, and I'm so glad, because if it's this bad with vaccination, I can't even think about what it would be like without it. So if you're not vaccinated, you're thinking about hesitating it, I gotta tell you, my girl is suffering. Please keep her in your prayers. Get vaccinated. If you can't bring yourself to do that, for God's sake, mask up. I wish her job had made her mask up, because that's basically the only place she went, the only people she saw. Think on that. Blessings. Have a good week.